There's a prayer for guidance that's so common, so universal, that most of us probably know it by heart. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? What if we've been so focused on the destination that we've missed the fact that the prayer is actually all about the journey? Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful interpretation that kind of flips this whole plea on its head. Okay, let's get into it. And it all boils down to this one simple request: show us the straight path. Now, according to the source we're looking at, this isn't just some line in a prayer. No, this is the foundational plea. It's the very thing that defines the human experience. This is the starting line for everything else. So, when we say these words, what are we truly asking for? I think the common idea is that we're asking for heaven, right? The final reward. But this interpretation suggests something totally different. It argues that our focus is, and really should be, on the journey itself.
And here's where it gets really interesting. This redefines what the path even means. In this view, it's not some road leading you to a destination in the future. The path is your life, your entire lifespan. Whether it's 10 years or 60 years long, that whole thing is the path you're asking for guidance on.
And this illustrates a super important distinction. See, we ask for help with the path, how to live, how to walk straight, precisely because the reward isn't ours to ask for while we're still on the journey. That final prize, that judgment, that can only be handed out once the path is finished, once life is over. It makes so much sense, right? The prayer is for the process, not the outcome.
But this journey is anything but simple. This path is narrow and it's surrounded by all these other treacherous possibilities. That prayer for guidance suddenly becomes so much more urgent when you realize just how easily you can fall off.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. If this path is our life, what are the things that can knock us off balance? What are those pitfalls that can cause us to wander off this guided way? Well, the source points to one powerful culprit that just shows up in a bunch of different disguises: pride. Becoming proud of your knowledge, your money, your family. Honestly, getting arrogant about any of the blessings God has given you, that can be the very thing that causes you to lose your footing on the path. And here's the really crucial point. The fall can be fast. Like, one moment you're walking straight, and the next, a little bit of pride creeps in, and you slip. This whole journey is a constant balancing act, right? Between being grateful for your blessings and having the humility not to let them turn into arrogance. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this was a trial for us regular folks, but the source makes it really clear that nobody is immune, not even the prophets. God's own messengers walked this exact same dangerous path, and they faced its tests too. I mean, just take the incredible story of Prophet Yunus or Jonah. Even a prophet like him could fall from his path, and he did. The Quran describes God telling him that if he hadn't asked for forgiveness, that fall would have been permanent. Wow, that's a pretty stark reminder of how seriously every single step is being weighed. But his story is also full of hope. It was through admitting his mistake, through humility and asking for forgiveness, that he was brought back. So this just reinforces that whole idea that the path is this continuous journey of correction, of getting back up after you fall and realigning yourself.
And if you thought that was powerful, listen to this. This is maybe the most profound example of all. A reminder from the Quran to Prophet Muhammad himself. God tells him that even he, the final messenger, could have gone astray if it weren't for divine grace. In fact, he would recite this very same prayer, show us the straight path, for his own guidance. So what do these stories really show us? It's that life is the test. For everyone, no exceptions. You don't get your report card while you're still in the middle of the exam, right? The prize is only awarded after the race is totally finished. All right, so let's tie this all together. What does this really mean for us in our daily lives right now? Well, it means we need to shift our focus, move it from that end goal to this present moment, to the very step we're taking right now. At the end of the day, the biggest takeaway is this. Our obsession shouldn't be with trying to lock down a reward that's just fundamentally out of our hands while we're alive. That judgment comes later. Our work, our plea, our entire focus, it's right here on the path we're walking today. And this just puts it perfectly, doesn't it? This one little shift completely transforms the prayer. It becomes this deeply humble, present-focused request for the strength and guidance to just live this life, this very moment in the best way that we can. We're asking for the how, not the what. Now, of course, this is just one interpretation of a concept that's incredibly deep. It's a lens to see our lives through, one that really honors the complexity of the whole journey. Which kind of leaves us with one last thought.
When you ask for guidance, what does the straight path really, truly mean to you?